Democracies are defined by the principle of universal adult franchise, in which every citizen has the right to vote. But in country after country, that principle is being subverted by the rich using their money to influence the course of elections. Everybody knows that political parties need money in order to campaign and promote their leaders and their policies. And of course, in a free society, citizens have the liberty to donate money to any party they support. The problem is all citizens are not equal when it comes to the resources they have. A rich man may have only one vote, but if all his money goes to one party and that party uses his donation to market itself more effectively via the media, he ends up influencing the votes of a larger number of people. In 1943, even before India was free and 7 years before we adopted our constitution, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar put his finger on the problem. These days, with the press in hand, it is easy to manufacture great men, he said, somewhat presciently. In establishing their supremacy, our great men have taken the aid of big business and money magnates. For the first time in our country, money is taking the field as an organized power. Baba Sahib said that 76 years ago, but the problem today is 100 times worse. Earlier this week, the Association for Democratic Reforms gave us a glimpse into the role of money as organized power with its latest report on political financing in India. Let's consider the ADR's top findings. 93% of the 985 crore rupees donated by the corporate sector to political parties between the years 2016 and 2018 went to just one party, the Bharatiya Janata Party. The BJP raised a total of rupees 916 crore from more than 1,700 corporate donors in this period. By contrast, its national rival, the Congress, managed to raise only 55 crore rupees. It's also worth noting that corporate donations amounted to 94% of all the money raised by the BJP, with money coming from ordinary supporters amounting to a mere 6% of its official income in this 2-year period. By law, political parties must declare the source of all donations above 20,000 rupees, and ADR's report draws on these official declarations. Interestingly, most of this corporate money was given through an indirect route. Companies donate money to a trust. The largest of these is called the Prudent Electoral Trust, which in turn passes the money on, of course, based on the preference of the original corporate donor. I should add that the ADR's latest figures do not include the money raised by the BJP through anonymous electoral bonds. This is another convenient method that former Finance Minister Arun Jaitley dreamt up and which the Modi government introduced in January 2018, which makes it even easier for big corporations to cozy up to the BJP without the rest of us finding out. I will explain why the anonymity involved is problematic a little later on in this video, but first I want to give you a sense of the amount of money we are talking about. As I said at the beginning, the latest ADR report focuses on official donations received by parties from known sources, and the figure for 2 years is rupees 985 crore. Well, it turns out that this money is just a fraction of the real sums changing hands. Consider this. From March 1st, 2018 to May 10th, 2019, over rupees 5,800 crore worth of electoral bonds were bought by anonymous donors, according to an official reply that the State Bank of India provided to RTI activist Chandrasekhar Gaud. Of these, rupees 4,444 crore worth of bonds, or 76% of the total amount, were purchased between March 1st and May 10th, even as campaigning for the Lok Sabha election this year was in high gear. Let me underline this for you again. In the 2 years from 2016 to 2018, corporate India donated 985 crore rupees to national political parties. But in the 2 months and 10 days before the Lok Sabha elections this year, they gave 4.5 times that amount, or rupees 4,444 crore. That's a little less than $750 million. So which party got the crores and crores that went into electoral bonds? Don't be surprised if I say it was the BJP. Well, we have still not been told so officially, but we do know that the last time data was made public in financial year 2017-18, the State Bank of India said it had sold 222 crore rupees worth of electoral bonds, and the BJP, in its financial returns to the Election Commission, noted that it had received 210 crore rupees in the form of electoral bonds. In other words, 95% of the value of these bonds ended up with the BJP. Armed with nearly 6,000 crore rupees worth of corporate financing, a figure which dwarfs what his political rivals were able to raise, is it any surprise that Narendra Modi emerged victorious? This is exactly what Dr. Ambedkar meant by money taking the field as organized power. It was this war chest that allowed Modi to fight a presidential campaign in every constituency across the country. In this, he was helped by the fact that India's electoral law places a cap of 70 lakh rupees on what each candidate can spend on his or her individual constituency, but places no limit on what a political party spends nationally. This is a huge loophole in the election process that successive governments and ruling parties have refused to plug, and with good reason. Compare this to Britain, whose election system India broadly follows. There, a candidate can spend up to £12,000 depending on the size and location of the constituency. In addition, a party's national campaign spending is also capped at £30,000 per constituency, which translates to an upper limit of around £20 million for a party contesting every seat in the House of Commons. In 1974, the Supreme Court recognized in the Amarnath Chawla case the need for election expenditure to be limited in order to ensure equality between candidates and to, quote, eliminate as far as possible the influence of big money in the electoral process, unquote. It said that if election expenditure were not limited, political parties would, and I quote, go all out for collecting contributions, and obviously the largest contributions would be from the rich and affluent, who constitute but a fraction of the electorate. The pernicious influence of big money would then play a decisive role in controlling the democratic process in the country, unquote. This is clearly what is happening today. And this is why Modi's system of electoral bonds is so pernicious. As long as we, the public, are able to see which corporates have paid how much to a political party, we can always connect the dots when that party, once elected, puts in place policies that favor those donors. But if the public is kept in the dark about who has financed, say, Narendra Modi's campaign, it becomes very difficult to identify the quid pro quo. Big money is subverting the power of our votes. Not only must there be a cap on how much a party can spend in an election, but the identity of all donors must be made public. Modi wants to add Sabka Vishwas to his slogan of Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas. But it is impossible to have Vishwas or trust when he and his party won't disclose who is paying their bills. So the BJP has all these big corporates who are financing their campaign, and other parties have other benefactors. But we at The Wire rely only on you, our viewers, our readers. To donate money to The Wire and to keep independent journalism alive and kicking, click on the link in the description below. Thank you for watching.